So in real time, I'm creating chords underneath what I'm playing. How cool is that? Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm just hanging out here with some pedals, and I wanted to share with you guys just like the roof's leaking. Where's the what? Oh, hang on. Can you guys see that? That is one big, oh. I will make sure that doesn't go on the pedals. Okay, so this little bad boy, it's called an Electro Harmonics Freeze. This is the pedal that I've just got a couple of days ago, and it's rocking. Like, I've got to say that I'm completely unaffiliated with Electro Harmonics at all. I've got nothing, there's no ulterior motive for me making this video. I just want to show you guys how cool this is, because I think this will make a big difference to the way you practice. I've got my bass, I'm going to plug this in with a couple of other effects as well, and I'm going to show you how you can actually give yourself context to the stuff that you're practicing. It's hard to put into words. Okay, let me grab my bass. Okay, right, so I've got my bass. Okay guys, so I've got the bass and I've got the pedals down here. I'm going to show you the pedals in a minute and show you which ones I'm using. But why am I making this video? Why do I think this pedal, this Electro Harmonics pedal, can be so important for you guys? Well, in a nutshell, it's because it can give you context to the stuff that you're practicing, the scales and the arpeggios that you're practicing. I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but knowing, for instance, the note G, okay, so it's the note of G, but it doesn't mean anything unless there's another note involved. It's just a pitch. Now, if I was to put it against a C, then it becomes, that G would be a perfect fifth. But if I put it against an E, it would be a minor third. And if I put it against an F, it would be a ninth or a second. And if I put it against a B, it'd be a flat six. Or if I put it against a C sharp, it'd be a flat five. Okay, so what I'm saying is, knowing where your notes are and your scales and your arpeggios, that's really well and good. But unless you hear them in context, okay, so for instance, if you're practicing let's say you're practicing a Mixolydian scale over a G. Okay, unless you hear that in context, it's just going to sound like a scale. It's just going to sound like a scale. So if you can give yourself some sort of context to play that scale over, then you're going to hear what the flavour and the scale sound like in context of harmony underneath it. Does that make sense? So how would you do this? Well, in a perfect world, we would play over backing tracks, for instance. So we could have like a constant G7 or a G note or something like that. So we can practice that scale over that note and be able to hear it in context. So it's not just a scale. It's not just a scale. You're playing it in context so you can hear what it actually sounds like when you're going to use it, okay? So, but backing tracks, yeah, you can find them. But what about if you want it instantaneously? What happens if you want it there? That's where this pedal can come in, okay? Now, it's not a looper pedal. For instance, you could, with a looper pedal, you could loop a few chords, but you can't just sustain one note or one chord endlessly without messing around. This pedal does that perfectly. So let me show you the pedal and show you how I've been using it, and specifically we'll talk about it over, let's say for instance, a G Mixolydian scale. In fact, before we get into the pedal, let me just show you the three pedals I'm using, then we'll get into the pedal. Okay, so here are the three pedals that I'm using. This is the one that we're going to be talking about today, which is the Electro Harmonics Freeze. Very cool. Then, just to give it some extra juice, we've got a flashback delay from TC, and then we've got the Electro Harmonics POG as well. And I'm going to talk about why I'm going to be using this in a minute, okay? Essentially, on here you've got
a little toggle switch here, and it says fast. I'm just going to pick it up here. Fast, slow, and latch. Okay, and then you've got an effect level. So it's really, really simple, the pedal. Okay, now let me just put it on fast and show you what I can do with it. So if I just put that on like that. Okay, so, and what you'll see is, when I check this out, if I watch the light, if I take my foot off, or my finger even, it just switches itself off. And that's because it's almost like a sustain, it's like a piano sustain pedal, but for bass or guitar. Okay, it's like, but there's an extra bit of juice in there that I'll show you. Okay, so imagine it, just think of it as a sustain pedal for bass. So for instance, and it's worth noting that you need to play a note before you push down the actual pedal. Okay, if I do the opposite, if I push down the pedal and then play a note, nothing happens. Okay, but if I play a note and then push down the pedal, we've got a constant G, and then I can alter the effects level by here. Now what does this give us? Well, for me, the practicing bass player, the practicing musician, it gives me a drone to be able to practice over. Okay, so I can hear that scale in context, and I don't have to look on YouTube for a G drone. I don't have to do any of that. I've got it right here. I can do it. So I'll put on a little bit of delay, and we can, let's hear what that sounds like, the G Mixolydian scale in context. And actually thinking about it, let's make it lower. Let's make the drone lower. So, okay, so that's just the pedal. And here's the G Mixolydian scale. Let's turn that effect down a bit. You can do this in real time. Then I can put the micropog on and it'll just give me, the reason why I like using the micropog sometimes is it just kicks it up and makes the actual scale a little bit more audible to start with, and helps me learn the sound of the scale. So that's one way you can use it, and I've been really enjoying that. I've specifically been enjoying it by giving myself a drone note and then going between two scales. So a couple of weeks ago I did a lesson on the modes and how to practice them. If you are interested in learning the modes at all, the chord scales, please go check that video. I will link to it below. It'll be really beneficial for you because it'll just give you a real great tip of practicing the modes. In that video I talk about practicing over a drone, why you should practice the modes over a drone or all in over one chord type. So for instance, or one root. So you practice the C Ionian, then you practice the C Dorian, then you practice the C Phrygian, and what this does, this pedal, it can give you the ability to give yourself a drone underneath so you can hear the modes in context. Awesome again. So that's C Mixolydian over C drone. because it gives you a load of different possibilities like that. Okay, got a bit carried away with myself there. I wanted to show you actually what this switch does down here. So the next one, essentially, if it's on fast, when you take your foot off the pedal, it cuts it straight away. Okay, so here we go. So play the note. Oh, play the note. Put it down. There you can hear it's sustaining the note and my hands off the pedal. And this could be a chord, by the way. Could be a G7. G7, right? And then when I take my foot off, it will immediately cut the sound. Okay, and again. Okay, if it's on slow, it means that the decay is going to be slower. So instead of immediate, it's going to actually tail off a little bit, and it sounds like this. So there it is. I'm going to take my foot off the pedal. Hear it? And you can actually alter how much it decays. I never read instructions. Far too technical for me. But anyway, you can alter the amount of decay, okay? And then the last one is the latch. Okay, so you put it on latch, and that means you can play the note and then take the foot off and it will sustain. Okay, so let's take a C minor. Foot's off, hands are off, and then I can just play over the top of it. So it's super cool. Now, when it's on the slow setting, it means you can actually, because it decays the note when you're sustaining it, you can put your foot down, you can play a chord, put your foot down, sustain that chord, jam over it a little bit, and then you can do the same on the next chord, and the next chord, and the next chord. So you're kind of practicing rubato, but what it's doing there is giving you the chance to play without having this tempo, you know, clicking away in your ear. I'll demo that just to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so for instance, let's take a 1-6-2-5-1. So in the key of C. Okay, let's do that. So we're going to go, but I'll do it rubato. So. So in real time, I'm creating chords underneath what I'm playing. How cool is that? So, like, I've just had this for a few days. I just wanted to share with you guys how I'm using it to practice with, because I think it's going to really help me give what I'm practicing, the scales and the notes and the arpeggios, context, so I can actually hear what it's going to sound like, because that's a huge thing for me. I'm always trying to hear what I'm practicing in context and actually make music from it instead of just running up and down scales, because it's great understanding the scales, great knowing the scales over the whole fingerboard, it's great knowing the arpeggios. This is like, it's bread and butter, it's what you need to do. There's no kind of like, do I need to learn my scales? Do you need to learn the alphabet? Do I need to learn to speak? probably. So this is how you learn to speak on the instrument. You use the scales, you use the arpeggios to do that, but you've got to use them in context of what it's going to sound like. Otherwise, they're just random collections of notes, okay? That's why I'm loving this pedal. So check it out. Again, I'm completely unaffiliated with Electro Harmonics. I just wanted to show you guys some cool stuff that I'm doing and working on in my own time, because I want you guys to know that I'm telling all you guys to get in the shed, but I'm in the shed as well. You know, I'm not telling you all to get in the shed and I'm sort of like sipping margaritas on the beach. Anyway, so without further ado, I'm gonna have to go and try and get this leak sorted in the roof, because I'm catching it in this at the minute. I need a bucket. But as always, guys, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. That'd be wicked. And if you want to check out the online bass school that I run called scotsbasslessons.com, it's the coolest online bass school in the world. We've got faculty members all over the planet, some of the best educators doing live streams for us every single week into the membership area. We've got self-study courses, the full shebang. If you want to go check it out, just go to scotsbasslessons.com and grab your 14-day free trial over there. I'll put a link down below and check it out. Take it for a test drive and see it's for you. I think it'll blow your face off. In fact, if you join, I think we just had Gary Willis actually last week doing a seminar for us, and it's burning. So if you do like, you know, sign up for that 14-day free trial, check out Gary's seminar because it was amazing. If you haven't heard of Gary Willis, by the way, check him out. It's mind-blowing. And we've also got like over 100 different pre-recorded seminars as well that other guys have done that are just, you know, the best guys in the world. Anyway, I'll stop moaning on. As always, take it easy and I will see you in the shed. The 2015 Kickstarter challenge.
Hey everybody.
Hey.
Hey everybody.
Hi everybody.
Hello all. Hello.